What if, the fruit you've been eating every morning, the one you thought was helping you stay strong, energized, and healthy, is actually doing the opposite? What if that juicy slice of grapefruit, that bowl of sweet watermelon, or even that overripe banana, was silently interfering with your medication, spiking your blood sugar, or exhausting your heart without you realizing it? Sounds dramatic, right? But here's the thing, this is happening more often than people think. You'd be surprised how many seniors end up in hospitals, not because of junk food or poor lifestyle habits, but because of something as innocent as fruit. Yes, fruit. See, as we age, our bodies change. Our metabolism slows, our medications increase, and what used to be healthy, may not be anymore. Now I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to open your eyes. Because today, I'm breaking down 5 fruits seniors should never touch. And 5 you should absolutely be eating to protect your heart, brain, digestion, and overall strength. And I won't just throw facts at you. I'll share real stories, simple explanations, and practical swaps you can start making today. Trust me, by the time we get to number 2 on both lists, you're going to want to check your fridge. So if you're someone who's navigating the golden years with intention, or you're caring for a loved one who is, comment, "I'm here for better health," and stay with me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because here on ElderTalks Daily, we talk about what really matters for senior health, not just what's trending. Alright, let's talk fruit. The good, the bad, and the ones you never expected. Let's start with a fruit that's caught many people off guard, grapefruit. On the surface, it seems harmless. Tart, refreshing, and loaded with vitamin C. But for seniors on certain medications, it can quietly become a serious health risk. MS. Donna, 75 years old, followed a morning routine like clockwork. She'd take her cholesterol and blood pressure meds with a nice cold glass of grapefruit juice. She had no idea it was a problem. After all, she'd been doing it for years. But one week, she began feeling faint. Dizzy. Her heart felt like it was beating in slow motion. She thought maybe she was just tired, until she collapsed while feeding her cat. The ER doctors found that her blood pressure had dropped dangerously low. And the cause? The grapefruit had blocked her liver from breaking down her medication properly, causing the drug to build up in her bloodstream. Grapefruit contains compounds that interfere with enzymes in the liver, specifically the ones that help process medications. So instead of the drug being broken down at a steady pace, it just sits there, builds up, and can reach toxic levels without you knowing. It's a silent trap. Most people think, fruit is fruit, it's always safe. But that's not the case when you're taking prescription meds. Grapefruit has been known to interfere with over 85 different drugs, including those for high blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, and even heart rhythm disorders. If you're on statins, calcium channel blockers, or certain antidepressants, grapefruit is one to avoid completely. So what can you do instead? First, read the medication label. Many will have a grapefruit warning. And if you're unsure, ask your doctor or pharmacist. Better safe than sorry. And don't worry, we're not done yet. If you're looking for something fruity and refreshing that does support your health, especially your memory and brain clarity, there's a far better choice. Let's talk blueberries. Meet Mr. James. 80 years old. Sharp as a tack, until recently. He started forgetting names, misplacing simple things, and zoning out during conversations. His daughter noticed it too. She didn't want to panic, but she didn't want to ignore it either. So she started making subtle changes. One of the first. She added a handful of blueberries to his breakfast every morning, whether it was an oatmeal, a smoothie, or just fresh on the side. Within weeks, Mr. James started engaging more. He remembered small details again. And while it didn't fix everything, something was clearly improving. You see, blueberries are often called brain berries for a reason. They're packed with powerful antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, that help reduce oxidative stress in the brain. That's a fancy way of saying they help protect your memory, focus, and clarity from the effects of aging. They also improve blood flow to the brain, which helps with alertness and mental processing speed. For seniors dealing with cognitive decline, or just occasional fog, that can make a real difference. Now, some folks think brain health is only about puzzles, apps, or vitamins. And while those help, your nutrition is your foundation. What you put into your body matters deeply. The best part? Blueberries are easy to add to your routine. Fresh, frozen, even dried, just make sure they're unsweetened. A small handful a day can go a long way. So if grapefruit might be causing problems, blueberries are your safe, brain-boosting alternative. And speaking of alternatives, let's move to a fruit that many seniors reach for on hot days, but it might not be as harmless as it seems. Let's talk watermelon. Now, imagine this. It's a warm afternoon. The sun's out. You're sitting under a tree, and someone brings out a cold bowl of watermelon. Sweet, hydrating, refreshing, it feels like the perfect snack. That was Mr. Felix's daily habit during the dry season. At 78, he loved his watermelon. He'd eat bowl after bowl while watching the evening news. It seemed innocent enough, until his blood sugar reading started climbing. At first, he didn't make the connection. After all, it's just fruit, he'd say. It's mostly water, it can't hurt. But here's the truth, watermelon, despite being 90% water, has one of the highest glycemic indexes among fruits. That means it spikes your blood sugar fast. Especially when eaten in large quantities, and especially for seniors dealing with diabetes or insulin resistance. And as we age, our bodies don't process sugars the way they used to. That means the effects of these spikes linger longer, and can lead to fatigue, inflammation, and increased risk of complications over time. It's not about banning watermelon completely, but it's about knowing your limits. A small, controlled slice now and then. Sure. But those heaping bowls that feel light can add up quickly in sugar. If you do enjoy it occasionally, pair it with something that slows the absorption, like a handful of nuts or a slice of cheese. That way, your body doesn't get overwhelmed all at once. Now, if you're craving something sweet, gentle on the stomach, and friendly to blood sugar levels, you might be surprised at what comes next. 2. Must eat, pears, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Ms. Linda was 82, lively, and sharp, but she had a frustrating problem she didn't like to talk about. Constipation. She tried fiber supplements. They made her bloated. She tried drinking more water, helped a little, but not enough. It wasn't until her daughter suggested something simple, pears, that she finally found some relief. Within days of adding pears to her meals, things started moving. Pears are one of the most underrated fruits for senior health. They're rich in both soluble and insoluble fiber, meaning they soften stool while also helping it pass more smoothly. That's a double win for digestion. But it doesn't stop there. That fiber also helps lower cholesterol, regulate blood sugar, and keep you feeling full without needing to overeat. And unlike some high-fiber foods, pears are gentle on the stomach. No gas. No cramping. Just natural, comfortable relief. Now, there's this common belief that bananas are the go-to fruit for digestion. But bananas can be constipating, especially if they're underripe. Pears, on the other hand, work with your body, not against it. The key is to eat them with the skin on, that's where most of the fiber lives. Choose pears that are ripe but still firm. Too soft, and you miss out on some of the texture and benefits. It's a quiet little fruit, but it does big work. And while we're talking about common breakfast habits, there's another fruit that sneaks into many senior routines, but might be doing more harm than good, especially if you're not paying attention to its ripeness. Ms. Rosie, 77, was a creature of habit. Every morning, she'd peel a banana, soft, spotted, sweet, and eat it with her tea. She liked the taste, and it seemed like the healthy thing to do. But over time, something felt off. She started waking up with dull headaches. Her energy would spike mid-morning, then crash by lunch. She felt lightheaded and anxious. She assumed it was just one of those aging things. But during a routine checkup, her doctor asked about her diet, and pinpointed the culprit: those overripe bananas. See, as bananas ripen, their natural starches convert into simple sugars. The riper they are, the sweeter they taste, but also, the faster they hit your bloodstream. For seniors with blood sugar sensitivity, this can cause rapid spikes, followed by fatigue, mood swings, and even headaches. But there's something else hidden in those brown-speckled skins: tyramine. It's a compound linked to migraines and blood pressure changes in sensitive individuals. And for people like Ms. Rosie, that small fruit was having a big impact. Now, here's the kicker. Most people think the riper the banana, the better. It's softer, it's sweeter, it must be healthier, they say. But in truth, that sugary softness can do more harm than good if your body's not breaking it down the way it used to. This doesn't mean you have to cut out bananas entirely. Just be intentional. Look for bananas that are yellow with only a few tiny brown spots, not fully covered in them. And if you eat one, pair it with protein or healthy fats, like a spoonful of peanut butter or a handful of walnuts. This helps slow the sugar absorption and keeps your energy steady. But if you're looking for a fruit that naturally gives you lasting energy, helps your digestion, and even supports better sleep, the answer is sitting right there in your fruit bowl. 3. Must eat: apples. 9:30 to 11 o'clock, Mr. George was a snacker. Every night around 9 p.m., the cravings would hit. He'd reach for cookies, crackers, or whatever sweet thing was within arm's reach. It was a tough habit to break, until his daughter suggested a simple switch: apples. At first, he rolled his eyes. Apples? That's rabbit food. But he gave it a shot. Sliced up a crisp Honeycrisp, sprinkled a little cinnamon on top, and sat down for his late-night treat. Not only did he enjoy it, he started sleeping better. He woke up lighter, clearer, more rested. And over the next few months, the weight around his midsection began to fade. His doctor even noted improvements in his cholesterol and blood sugar. Apples are one of the most reliable, senior-friendly fruits out there. They're low in calories, but high in soluble fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and support heart health. They also contain polyphenol that protect the lining of your arteries and reduce inflammation. But there's another benefit most people don't think about: the crunch. That crunchy texture stimulates saliva, which helps clean the mouth. For seniors dealing with dry mouth or dental issues, that simple chewing action can support oral hygiene. It's like nature's toothbrush. Still, apples get overlooked. Some think they're too plain, too simple. But that's the beauty of them: they're predictable, gentle, and effective. And here's a tip: always eat apples with the skin on, that's where the fiber lives. Try sweet varieties like Fuji, Pink Lady, or Honeycrisp if you like a little more flavor. So if you're reaching for a quick bite that gives energy without the crash, balances blood sugar, and satisfies your sweet tooth, apples are the real MVP. But don't let their quiet reputation fool you. Not all tropical fruits are so kind. In fact, the next one, while delicious, might be slowly eroding your stomach lining and teeth, especially if you're eating it often. Mr. Andy was known for his sweet tooth. Every evening after dinner, like clockwork, he'd reach for a bowl of canned pineapple. He liked the tang. The syrupy bite. It felt tropical, refreshing, even healthy. But over the months, something started to change. He began complaining of stomach discomfort. Burning in his chest. And then came the toothaches. His dentist noticed erosion near the gums. His doctor suspected acid reflux. At first, Andy thought it was all just part of getting older. But it wasn't aging, it was the pineapple. Pineapple, while natural, is incredibly acidic. That acidity, over time, wears down the enamel on your teeth and irritates the lining of your stomach, especially when eaten frequently. And for seniors, whose digestion may already be more sensitive, that acid can be harsh. But there's more. Canned pineapple is often packed in heavy syrup, loaded with added sugar. Even when labeled, in juice, it can still spike your blood sugar and worsen inflammation. And then there's bromelain, a natural enzyme in pineapple. In small amounts, it can help digestion. But too much of it, especially on an empty stomach or daily, can cause nausea, diarrhea, and stomach irritation. That digestive boost can quickly turn into digestive discomfort. Many people think, but pineapple helps with bloating, right? And yes, it can. In moderation. A few fresh chunks once or twice a week. Fine. But eating it daily, especially from a can, creates more problems than it solves. If you do enjoy pineapple, rinse canned slices thoroughly to remove excess sugar, and stick to small servings. Your teeth, and your stomach, will thank you. Now, if you still crave that tropical flavor but want something that supports your heart, blood pressure, and immune health without all the acidic backlash, there's one fuzzy little fruit that checks every box. For must-eat, kiwi, 1230 to 1400 hours, Ms. Beatrice had been fighting with her blood pressure for years. Pills helped, somewhat. Diet changes were confusing. Salt this, don't eat that, avoid caffeine, it all became overwhelming. Her daughter, trying to keep things simple, added one small thing to her plate, kiwi. One little kiwi with breakfast. Another in her afternoon fruit bowl. Within months, her blood pressure readings began to normalize. Her doctor was pleasantly surprised. But Ms. Beatrice just smiled and said, "It's that little green fruit. Kiwi might be small, but it's mighty. It's packed with potassium, which helps balance sodium levels and ease tension in blood vessel walls, naturally lowering blood pressure. It's also loaded with vitamin C and other antioxidants that strengthen immune function and protect the heart. Unlike some tropical fruits, kiwi is gentle on the stomach. It's not as acidic as people think, especially when ripe. And that slightly tart flavor. It actually helps curb sugar cravings, making it a great choice for seniors trying to reduce processed sweets. A common myth is, kiwi's too sour or too weird looking to enjoy. But once you taste a ripe one, that mindset changes quickly. And for those worried about the fuzzy skin, yes, the skin is edible and contains even more fiber, but you can absolutely peel it if texture bothers you. Slice it into salads. Scoop it out with a spoon. Or pair it with Greek yogurt for a light, heart-smart snack. Simple, nutritious, and packed with benefits in every bite. Let's pause here for a moment. Because if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by everything we've talked about, you're not alone. It's hard. Watching someone you love grow older and struggle with their health, especially when they've always done their best. When they thought they were eating well. When they believed they were making the right choices. To realize that something as simple and innocent as fruit, something they trusted, might be making things worse, it's confusing. Frustrating. Even painful. You start questioning everything. What else are we missing? How do I fix this without making them feel ashamed or afraid? But here's what I want you to remember, you're not behind. You're ahead. Because now, you're no longer guessing. You've got insight. You've got real-life examples. You understand that senior health isn't just about what looks good on the plate, but about how the body responds, processes, and protects itself as it ages. This isn't about restriction. This isn't about fear. It's about empowered choices, tiny shifts in the kitchen that create real change in the body. Choosing fruits that nourish without harming. knowing which ones to embrace, and which ones to leave behind. And those choices, they matter. They stack up. You don't need to overhaul the whole diet overnight. Just start small. Take a look inside your fridge today. What's in the fruit drawer? Maybe it's that overripe banana, or the canned pineapple you've been reaching for each afternoon. What if, instead, you replace just one of those with a handful of blueberries, or a crisp, fiber-rich pear? That single change might seem small. But to your heart, your brain, your blood pressure, it can mean everything. It's not about perfection. It's about care. About love. About wanting the people we cherish, and ourselves, to feel steady, strong, and safe in our bodies. Because aging doesn't have to mean decline. With the right knowledge, it can mean thriving. So take a deep breath. You're doing something powerful right now, learning, preparing, showing up with intention. And those little efforts, they echo. They protect. They heal. With just a few mindful choices, we can help ensure our elders aren't just living longer, but living better. Independent. Nourished. Dignified. Loved. And that's what ElderTalks Daily is all about. So, let's take a breath and bring it all together. Today, we uncovered 5 fruits that may be quietly working against senior health, even though they seem harmless at first glance. We talked about grapefruit, which can interfere with medications. Watermelon, which can spike blood sugar when eaten in excess. Overripe bananas, which sneak in more sugar and headaches than you think. Pineapple, whose acidity can wear down the stomach and teeth. And how even the good stuff can become risky if we don't approach it with care. But we didn't stop there. We also explored 5 fruits that can truly nourish and protect the aging body: blueberries, for memory and cognitive support. Pears, for gentle digestion and cholesterol balance. Apples, for blood sugar control and healthy snacking. Kiwi, for blood pressure and immune strength. Each one, a quiet powerhouse, easy to find, affordable, and kind to a senior's body. Now let me ask you something. Which one surprised you the most? Was there a fruit you thought was perfectly healthy, but now you're second-guessing? Or maybe you've seen a loved one improve after adding one of these must-eats to their meals? I'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment below and let's learn from each other. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. And if this video gave you even one helpful insight, just one thing you didn't know before, tap that like button. It helps this information reach more families who are doing their best, just like you. And if you want more practical, heart-centered guidance like this, consider hitting subscribe. Here at ElderTalks Daily, we post every week, real tips, real care, and real conversations to help you or the elders in your life age with grace, strength, and dignity. You showed up today, you stayed with me through every minute, and that means you care deeply. That matters. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay strong. Stay wise. And above all, take care of one another. I'll see you in the next video.